I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
Come on!
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
And now,
our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. I love that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah. Come on.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. It is Thursday, April 28, 2022, in the year of our Lord. Welcome to it. Oh, I see Chris Teeble smiling, having a good time, dancing. Look at. Oh, Jesus. And we got Dexter is back. We love Dexter.
Hello.
Hi. Whip is going to join us. Maybe Donnie P. You never know who's going to pop in on this Thursday. Let's get this thing started. Here we go, everybody.
Andrew Z. In the morning.
Woo! Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hi, Teeful.
Hi.
Jesus, dude. Come on. What the fuck? Hey, I want to start
You
with
sit there with technical difficulties and you think my hi is bad radio?
Wait, what technical difficulties? What are you talking about?
I'm not saying this morning, but like before, all the time, like you have technical difficulties, you make bad radio, and then you have the nerve to criticize my hi.
Sorry, I apologize. So what do you guys think? Elon Musk taking over Twitter. Thoughts? Dexter, go.
So, I mean, this won't necessarily be apocalyptic for Twitter. I don't think it's really great. I mean, it's this guy is already talking about his focus being on free speech. And there was this town hall with the employees, and they're like, yeah, so that's signaling to us that all the guardrails against hate speech and everything that kind of makes people feel safe on the platform is just going to be lifted.
And that's the
so
problem.
I mean, we're going to.
That's the problem. Is to me the hate speech stuff is going to be back. And the misinformation is going to be back. And the people are like, free speech. There's other opinions. No, we have to realize in this society there are truths and not truths. It's not your opinion. It doesn't make it a truth. And I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a disaster. Donnie P, we're talking about your buddy Elon Musk taking over TikTok.
My boy.
Your boy.
Elon.
Your boy.
Isn't he like your direct competitor? Shouldn't you not like him?
Oh yeah, because
the EV6 destroys the Tesla, you guys. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris. Yeah, we've got 3 in stock, which are going crazy. Charged to 80% in 20 minutes on a fast charger. More tech, it's better looking, and it's faster. So yeah, come see it for the EV6. Anyway, thank you, Elon, for bringing us.
You can call me racist, but I'll take an Asian car over an American car any day.
That's just unpatriotic.
Well, I mean, technology is kind of their thing, I think, isn't it? Maybe not anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's a racist thing to say.
Kia, it's a global brand. Yeah, it's global.
It is. All right. So go see Donnie for electric car. But I don't know, man. I just think that you have to have some guardrails in especially the biggest social media platform in the world.
It is fun to see a whole bunch of verified accounts start going, Elon's taken over Twitter, which means free speech is back, and I can start posting on Twitter again. And then you look back and you see that they average 4 to 5 posts a day for like the last decade. And you're like, yeah, you never stopped, you never left. The whole narrative that Twitter targeted conservatives, it falls apart on its face. Even conservative groups that have tried to do studies to prove it have fallen flat on it. The actual data shows that they don't do it. They apply their standards. Like take for instance the Hunter Biden laptop story. All the only links. The only tweets that Twitter removed were ones directly to the document dump because at the time they had a policy against sharing leaked documents, and it affected conservatives and liberals and liberal causes equally. So like whenever there was a document dump of police records of abuse, they deleted all those links as well.
And
It
just
was
to
a
give you
stupid policy, but they followed it.
just to give you an example too, when it comes to let's say pro Trump stuff, there's 10 times more pro Trump stuff than there is pro Biden stuff or pro Democrat stuff. I mean, you can't say that you're being censored. Everything on the internet is pro Trump, fuck Biden, blah 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 blah. So please stop.
That's your internet though, Andrew. You always say this, that like our Facebook feeds and our internet is tailored to us, and you just happen to have a lot of friends that are on both sides, so you might feel like it's like that, but I don't.
You don't
I have a lot of pro Trump friends, but my feed, I'd say my feed is, I'd say it's about split. I mean,
really?
Yeah,
wow.
like
See, for me, the pro Trump stuff swamps the other stuff.
Well,
and you're right, I do have friends.
You live in Perrysburg. Just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. What's up, Whip?
What's going on, man? I apologize for being late. I was on CP time. If you don't know what that means, go ahead and look it up. Just look it up. You'll know what it means. Sorry.
I have no comment on this one way or the other.
Good job.
That's smart. That's smart. All right.
Good move.
I'm white and I apologize.
So I want to talk about Whip, something you talked about on Facebook. You have a lot of good content on your Facebook page from the Whip Show podcast. I want to talk about foods you hated as a kid but love now, and I've got two of them. One of them for me is avocados. I hated avocados as a kid. Love avocados now.
When you say avocados, are you talking taking a naked avocado and putting that shit in your mouth, or are you talking guacamole? Because those are two different things.
Guacamole.
Okay, yeah, guacamole is awesome, always has been awesome, but I dare you to cut up an avocado, take a little wedge, and stick that motherfucker in your mouth with no seasoning, and tell me you like that avocado.
Okay, good call.
It's not bad. It's just a little squishy is all. The texture is a little off.
Squishy and not much flavor to it.
I'm glad we let in.
Seasoning.
I'm glad we let in talking about avocados, because the people just came in and heard this conversation about putting stuff in your mouth and it being squishy. I don't know what they would say, dog. I'm just saying. Glad we let in, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So my other one for me is tomatoes. When I was in preschool, they made us eat the school lunch. And they'd feed us, and it was stewed tomatoes was one of the things. And I was like, I don't eat tomatoes. They're like, you have to eat the whole thing. You know, the school was different back in those days. You got to eat the whole lunch. And I ate the whole lunch, and I threw up all over the lunchroom because I ate stewed tomatoes, and I didn't like tomatoes as a kid. And now I'm fine with tomatoes. I'll eat tomatoes. I like tomatoes. But so those are my two. Anyone got one that they hated as a kid, but like now?
Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
Yes.
My parents, for 19 years, I thought the only way to make Brussels sprouts was like either microwaving them or boiling them. And then magically, when I turned 19, my dad busted out the freaking the pressure cooker and basically fried those bitches and seasoned them. And I was like, "There's another way."
Yeah, Brussels sprouts.
Other things.
Yeah, Brussels sprouts. Whip, you just had a whole big old thing of Brussels sprouts, didn't you?
Yes.
I love Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are amazing, but I was on the same wavelength. I didn't like them at all growing up. I thought it was only one way, boiled. I thought they were little green balls. I was not putting it in my mouth. Just saying.
I don't like putting green balls in my mouth either.
No, not green.
I think it's gangrene.
But as he said, when you start learning there's other ways to make them, you know, you put caramel on them, put a little liquor on them. They taste amazing. I'm trying to say I love it. That and sushi. Those are my two things that I'll eat every day, all day.
I think asparagus too. I think I hated asparagus when I was little, and and it was the same situation. Like it was always steamed. It was always like just a little salt. And now I'm like, oh, you can cook it all different ways. And I love asparagus.
Asparagus is yours. All right, go ahead, Dexter.
So for me, believe it or not, as a kid, I hated cucumbers. I really did. Didn't like them. But I always liked pickles. So I guess that was kind of my redeeming quality. But then I think also too, it was kind of like you said, like you had to eat what was on your plate. And like my mom was obsessed with them. So they were in everything. They were in the salad. They were in like the hamburgers. I was like, this is cucumber overload. And so now, like, you know, we're not like besties, but like me, cucumbers we're friends.
Okay, all right, got you.
Yeah, see, I've never understood this whole like I get making your child try everything, because they can't necessarily say they don't like something unless they've actually tried it. So, and I get that, but once you know that they have a visceral hatred for a particular food, why would you keep making them that food?
I don't disagree, and you know what?
Nutrition.
I think I'm gonna blame my parents for my being fat right now, but just hold on and listen.
Okay.
So, growing up, it was always clean your plate, clean your plate, clean your plate, right? So, and they're starving kids in Africa, whatever else. It looks like Dexter, you might be the only one that you didn't have to hear that.
Oh no, I
So-
did. I did.
Oh, okay.
She
So-
made me feel even worse.
The wrong answer to
She was
that.
like, "Your
to that statement,
ancestors. Your ancestors are starving." I was like, "Oh no."
the wrong answer to that statement is send it to them. Just so
Yeah.
everybody knows, the wrong answer
Don't
is
do that,
send it
kid.
to them.
But
That's cooked with a fork.
But yeah, so we would have to clean our plates. So I would sometimes, I wouldn't be hungry. Sometimes I would be. Sometimes I wouldn't like it. It just depended on the situation. Sometimes I did not want to clean my plate, but I had to. So you sat there all night until it was gone, or you went to your room, and if you wanted to come back out, you had to finish your food. And so now, as an adult, I have extreme guilt when I do not clean my plate. Like I can't. It's hard for me to throw food away. Like I have to really work with myself and say, okay, I'm done. Oh, and the save the best for last thing. That's also very stupid because then you're full and you're going to force yourself to eat it anyway. So I think that's a lot of, we have a lot of guilt. Like our generation has a lot of guilt with throwing food away. So
Totally agree.
I
Yeah.
do think that has played a role in the amount that my portions that I eat and my relationship with food. And one of the reasons I struggle so badly with losing weight.
Anyone else got something that they didn't like? Go ahead, Whip.
Whoa! I gotta say this. You blaming your parents? No, we need to be blaming Sally Struthers. We watched those TV shows growing up. We had to send the money to the
Damn it, Sally!
Don't blame it on the
Yes.
parents. Blame it on her. No, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
it's true. Go ahead, Donnie.
It's $2.
I have
a day.
one. I have a dinner. It was actually a whole meal that I didn't hate it as a kid. I just didn't appreciate it because we probably had it every couple of weeks, and now eating it as an adult, it's like the greatest thing ever. But it was like that big. You get at the grocery store, the big piece of sausage that your mom cooks up with like au gratin potatoes. Like it's like the classic mix of sausage and potatoes. It's like, wow. Now, anytime Ashley whips that up, I'm like, wow, this just brings me back to my childhood. It's like one of my favorite.
And
dishes.
it brings a side topic too. What is something that you ate so much that you can't eat now? Because for me, my mom discovered an amazing fettuccine recipe when I was a kid. And all of a sudden, every other day we're eating fettuccine, and it was oh my God, it was the best. And then after about a month of fettuccine, all of a sudden I'm like, I can't eat. And so to this day,
fettuccine, like Alfredo, Andrew, because fettuccine is a type of noodle.
Oh yeah, Alfredo.
Okay,
like a fettuccine Alfredo, and after a month, I'm like, I can't eat it anymore. And to this day, I don't eat fettuccine because of that.
You reached your fettuccine. There it is. Now you just got the potatoes on the side.
There you go, Donnie. They're just sausage.
Well, I feel you, Andrew. I grew up eating cereal a lot, and then when I went away to college, I lived off of breakfast cereal with milk, and then when you run out of milk, you just eat breakfast cereal. So I mean, I can do it once in a while, but I really don't eat breakfast cereal anymore. And I mean, I literally lived off of that for a good
wait. Is there
portion
dinner
of my
cereal?
life. Yeah, you just eat it after 4 p.m.
Oh, the dinner cereal, not breakfast cereal.
Yeah,
you mean just
Any
cereal?
cereal.
I think is what he's saying.
Yeah, it's time-based.
Just being Tiefel. All right, what is your favorite breakfast cereal ever? It's like for me, I think it's Captain Crunch, or the All Crunch Berries. Between that and Fruity Pebbles, which people in this house eat a lot of Fruity Pebble. What's the toucan? Fruit Loops.
Fruit
Loops.
Which Fruity Pebbles is way better than Fruit Loops, but I don't know why this house
definitely.
is dysfunctional and eats Fruity
Fruit
Pebbles.
Loops, Fruity Pebbles are really good though, but they'll make sure you keep up with your dental visits because if you have a cavity, they'll find it. It's like, You're like,
well,
the
yeah,
Fruity
they're
Pebbles got me.
helpful. You're like, oh, look at that colorful hole in my tooth.
Wait. When I was a little kid, my favorite cereal was Cocoa Puffs. Until one fateful day, I found out that my mom only ever bought Cocoa Puffs once. And then after that, she was buying the cheap off-brand bag Cocoa
Wow.
Puffs,
They're better.
putting it,
So-
and
Yes.
then putting it in the Cocoa Puffs box.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that was too much work. Your mom, you are spoiled rotten. But the Fruity Pebbles and the Cocoa Puffs both are Cocoa Puffs and Pebbles. So Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, and Cocoa Puffs. The off-brand is better and leaves better chocolate milk.
It never occurred to me that the box never changed, that it was always the same like game on the back of the box.
No, you were dumb.
And all
I
that.
just love the off-brand names. It would be like Fruit Circles. It would be
Yeah, it's the best.
See,
Yes.
y'all growing up, y'all were blessed, man. My mom said I can only eat Cheerios because everything else had too much of a sugar content. However, we still dropped tons of sugar in the Cheerios. So what you
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it made no
What a great point.
sense.
So true. So true.
You guys,
I gotta go ahead, Donnie.
the worst thing I ever did. Actually, we talk about this like once a month in my house because my kids just started playing soccer. And when I was in like third grade, I had a soccer game, and in Batman the movie, like the Michael Keaton Batman was in theaters, and they had a cereal that was basically like fruit Captain Crunch, like the yellow part, but it was shaped like a bat. It was like my favorite
Okay.
thing, and I had to have it before my game, but we were out of milk. So I'm like, oh, no big deal. I'll just put water in it. And it was the most disgusting experience of my life. It scarred me to this day. Like I remember it like it was yesterday. Like it was
I swear to
so
God,
gross.
there's no worse feeling in the world. None. Nothing is worse than pouring a bowl of cereal. You pour the cereal first, and then you go to the fridge, and there's no fucking.
How are you not grabbing the box of cereal and then grabbing the milk at the same time?
No.
Because they're in two different places,
They're different
people, and we're
places.
not made of rubber.
Before assembling your cereal, why don't you have all the ingredients
hold up.
out?
No,
Oh,
shut up,
Hold
Tito.
up,
Shut
hold
the fuck
up,
up.
hold
You
up,
ate
hold up.
out three
Right.
times a week before, or 3 times a day a year ago. Stop talking now, Mr. Shut.
Listen,
Go ahead,
listen.
Whip.
God.
I'm fat. So even when I cook food, I might make something over here and something over there. I'm already eating food A before part B even finishes. So when
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a
I'm already eating
pre-dinner.
on the cereal
Yeah.
before I grab the milk, man.
It's like going to sit at the toilet without looking to make sure the seat's down. Why? How is that not an automatic thing?
Oh,
It
boy.
for
has
you.
happened. We're not
The
gonna talk about
fuck
that. We're not
is
gonna talk about
wrong
that.
with
We've
those
all-
people?
We've all had
Yeah.
wet cheeks in here, so I mean, I don't know why that's a question. I'm sure all of us have done it. So
No, I've never had wet cheeks because I
You
look.
can, you know why?
Even in my own
Because
place.
Tifo has no children. He works. He comes home to his little apartment. He doesn't have anything else going on in his life. He barely has a social life. He has nothing to distract him from the fact that there's no milk or the seat is down. Or up.
Right.
That's why.
He's perfect. He's a perfect life.
Yes. So that's why.
So here's the other question that I have then, going off what you guys just said. Like Whip, you said you're eating this before you even get to making the full meal. When you go to one of those where they cook at your table, what is it?
Hibachi.
Hibachis.
Thank you, hibachi. If you go to a hibachi place, do you wait till all the food is on the plate? Like, because they make
No.
they make the veggies first and the
It's
rice.
called an appetizer.
You eat as you go,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, making sure I'm doing the right thing. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
Colleen likes to wait until the whole meal is there. Like,
Then our
No, no,
vegetables
no.
will be cold. That's
Well, then you
awful.
get the
I
freezer.
save-
You get the free. The only thing you eat first at a hibachi place is whenever he like flips it in your mouth.
Or the soup. You can have
No.
the soup.
wait, so you wait?
no,
till
my
you-
kids will have the rice gone before
Why-
their
Why would
protein
you
gets
wait
there.
before you had the full presentation of a meal? It's a show, then a meal.
Well,
Watching
yeah.
the show.
Tifo, I like you less and less throughout this morning.
Oh man.
I do. Everything you. How can one person be so wrong about so much shit in a matter of 24 minutes?
You have to put the rice in your mouth as soon as possible because you want to know how hot that freaking what is it
Because
called?
you gotta go.
The grill is.
Are you
With the
yeah,
food
it's
in your
so
mouth.
hot.
Are you looking to like sue Benihana like the lady sued McDonald's? Like, what are you? I'm gonna put this obviously hot rice in my mouth. Oh my god, burns.
It's a game. You put the hot rice in your mouth and then you breathe to cool it off,
Yeah.
trying not to spit it out or choke on it. It's a game you play at the fucking hibachi.
And you
Tifo.
chase it with the
When you're
hot
12.
sake. You guys, if you haven't ordered the sake hot, you got to get the hot sake.
Oh,
It's like
I
it'll
haven't
change
tried
your
it.
life.
I have sake in my apartment right now and never thought about heating it up.
Yeah, they'll ask you at some of the hibachis, are like, you want it hot or cold? And I'm like,
Really?
hot. I don't
Hot.
know.
Yeah,
And then
so-
it comes, and it's like, yeah, and they
It
bring you that
sounds like
little
a sex
carafe
position.
and a little, it's like a little shot glass. You
So
pour
like
it.
it hot.
Dude, I hit it with the hot sake, and it was over from there.
Ooh,
guess-
Ashley.
Good morning to Brenda. Good morning to Natasha. And then Natasha said a good one. She said, Chris, I do talking about the generic cereal. She says she does it with her husband's coffee. She'll put the Kroger brand in the Folgers bin.
The best part of waking up is marital deceit.
All right.
So
Okay.
dramatic.
Wow.
So dramatic.
Stop it,
dramatic.
man.
I want to talk about this one. You guys. So this one first. Have you guys watched that documentary Abercrombie and Fitch? It's
No.
new
Watched it
documentary
last
on Netflix.
night.
Did you Dexter? What'd you think?
I did.
Tell us about it for those who hadn't seen it. Give us a recap. I haven't finished it yet. We just started it.
Ooh, so much. So basically it's like the rise and fall of Abercrombie and Fitch. And
fallen?
you know, it's
They
it's
fallen?
it's dead now. It's one of my favorite lines. One of my favorite lines in there is towards the end, they're like, and then it became what you did when you're doing construction work. And I was like, oh no, that's a blow. But it's tells like, Jeffrey's whole concept, and then all of like the cultural things that just started coming out were just like, discrimination and just all of their just wild practices, and just how things just really started to unravel the more and more it came to light. For me, it was wild because, I was like, a preteen and a teen kind of during its heyday. And so I remember like in the malls, like walking by like the shirtless guys and being like, oh my God, I'm so intimidated, but I love it. And then like,
Dexter,
then,
when did you know? When did you get that feeling? You're like, oh, well,
yeah. Well, so I think I actually owe it to Abercrombie, so it's not all bad. Not all bad. I thank them. Thanks, Jeffries. But then that cologne, that like musky cologne would like draw you in. And then it was like so dark that you really even know what like you were buying until you got home and it didn't fit and you felt fat.
It was like
anywho,
dark but bright at the same time somehow. I don't know how they did it.
Right, but it's
bright.
it was wild. It's wild.
Well,
it's worth watch though.
I walked in and I only walked in like once or twice because people like me don't like, they'll just ignore you. Like they look down upon you. Like, what are you doing? What are you even doing here?
Yeah, seriously, Andrew. Why did you walk into an Abercrombie and Fitch? You know what they're all about.
I didn't know what they were because their windows are closed. Like they said, it was a genius move. Actually, they hide their windows. The reason they do that is because then you have to walk in to see what they have. So I thought that was interesting. So, but yeah, I walked in, and for me, when I walked in the one time, the music stopped. Like the lights came up.
It's like the opposite of those '90s movies where the hot girl's coming down the stairs and they have the music playing. It's just Andrew walking in, record skip, lights on, we're done.
The club is closed. Club is closed.
We're no longer cool. Shut it down.
They try to like stick the close sign on the window. Hey man, we're closed. But all these people are in here. No, we're
I'm
closed.
sorry, sir. We're out of stock on everything.
Everything?
What did Dexter say? This was the real rise and fall when Andrew walked in. I get it, dog.
Well, a couple things that I thought were kind of interesting. There's a guy named Les Wexner. And Les Wexner, which I didn't know until this documentary, they call him the Merlin of the malls. This dude was the brainchild behind Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie and Fitch, Bath and Body Works, The Limited. All these are.
If you're going to tell me anything bad about him, stop, because Bath and Body Works is my jam, and I can't not get Bath and Body Works. I can't cancel them, so please don't ruin it for me.
No, I won't. And actually, they were based out of Columbus. Yep. But anyway, he came up with all these things. He was a billionaire. He came up with all these great ideas. And no, he brought in this other guy that fucked Abercrombie and Fitch up. So
okay, good.
Cancel Lex Wessner because he just came up with the idea, brought this other dude in to
Yeah.
run it.
Mike
the Jeffrey guy.
Mike Jeffries is
Thank
the one that was running Abercrombie and Fitch, and then
Yeah.
told the world that if you're fat or ugly, we don't want you in our clothes.
Oh,
He
Andrew, they
literally-
tried to hit you twice.
Literally,
That was
said
brutal.
Oh, man.
but this Lex Wexner, it was genius. Anyway, the mall for me was I spent a whole decade at the mall. Just every weekend, it was right on the bus line. We'd jump on the bus, we'd go to the mall, we'd hang out there all the time.
And how much time at the mall did you spend outside the food court?
Well, that was where we hung out. That was like the spot. That was the congregation spot. Was there? You'd go see a movie. You'd go to the hang out at the food court.
Run to different stores. I'm gonna run down here and grab this. I'm gonna run and then we'll be back at the food court. Yeah.
Oh, it was, those days were amazing. Some of the best days that I remember are at the mall. And we also had a skating rink too. So on the mall complex.
Oh, wow.
So we go skating, we go to a movie, we go to the mall, we go to the food court.
I
mean, those are just days. The
And now,
arcade.
you can't hang out at the mall anymore.
I know kids can't even hang out there without parents.
Trying to save it. I've been trying to show up more and more lately because you just wake up one day and you're like, I haven't been to the mall in like 2 years. How did that even happen?
So
It's
true.
like I got to get there. I just got to go and show up. And I went.
We went there this weekend too. I want to find out what you thought. We went there this weekend too. Two things that I thought. Number one, it was empty, which was sad. Number two,
what mall did you go to?
Westfield Franklin Park. I mean, empty compared. It's huge. So you know, it's only a scattering of people. Yeah. And the other thing too is it's a flea market now. It's really turning into that. It's like people like selling stuff. It's like random.
Like in the hall, like in the
How
main.
dare you sell stuff at the mall?
Not even just in the kiosks.
That's
they're
not
taking
in
over
the
the
spirit
store.
of the mall.
They're taking over the stores now. I'm talking about like goofy shit, like the handmade. It's turning into a flea market.
I was at the mall a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what you're talking about. They had all the same stores that they always have.
I
and
agree.
They had the middle kiosk. You know,
that's the first thing you've been right about.
Come
yeah,
on.
they still
There's
have
no gap
Asian
at the
dude.
mall, you guys. Let's not pretend. Let's
They still have that
lift
old
the
Asian
veil
dude that'll
away.
beat the crap out of your back right as like hundreds of people are passing you. You know?
Yeah, they have a lot of mainstream stores, but I think it's cool that they're that now the smaller mom and pops and the handmade stuff are entering the mainstream thing. Like seeing that next to Penny's and next to Bath and Body Works and Pink. Like I think that's kind of cool. Like to see I know there's a couple of black owned businesses in there that are little shops and little clothing shops that now they wouldn't 10 years ago you wouldn't have saw any of that at the mall. The mall was for big mom.
I got some City Boy jeans in my room right now.
I love that we can do that.
I do.
Well, I have to admit, you know, there's a store in there that my kids liked. I was surprised they liked it. It's the $9.99. What are those things called? Colleen, those pants, the girls' stretchy pants, leggings. Yeah, the $9.99 leggings.
Dude, Alzheimer's is getting bad, bud. They can make meds for that.
I know.
I mean,
you gotta take some.
Arguably, the word pants is harder to forget because leggings at least has the name of the freaking limb that goes in there.
That's rough for you all here, Andrew.
What are those things you wear on your legs, Colleen?
Were you just asking the question? You've got half the word already.
Yeah.
Just adding 4 letters.
The $9.99 legging store, the kids liked it. Like they had the cross. They're like they have to be the crosses and they can't have pockets and blah blah blah. You know, whatever. But they're $9.99 leggings. It was a good deal. Anyway, that's
yeah. Okay. So I do have a serious question. I'm going to ask Gina about this. Okay. So from what is it? Women love leggings, right? But then they also love dresses and brag when those dresses have pockets. Pick a lane. Like, do you want pockets or do you not want pockets
in our leggings too, Tifel? Got it twisted. We don't want what we want is pockets. Do you guys know the pocket problem with women? Why we have a problem? Have you ever tried to put your hand in a woman's pocket?
It's tiny.
The fucking pocket goes up to here, you guys. Like I can't put anything in my pockets. I can't even fit my phone in my pocket. You could put nothing but maybe some lipstick in your pocket. So women are excited about regular pockets because you guys have had them your whole lives. You can put everything you own in your pockets and carry them around and it doesn't look bulky. It doesn't look, it doesn't look like you have a bunch of shit in your pockets. So women, it's assumed because women carry purses, but not every woman carries a purse. I don't want to have to carry a purse all the time. So that's where the
Gina-
pockets thing comes from.
Yeah, no,
Hold
Gina,
on,
you're
wait,
right, because like we have so many pockets, guys. You know those jeans where there's that little tiny pocket on like the right side that you don't even know what to do with.
Yeah, you have made up
Like
pockets.
what is that
we have
pocket
pockets
for?
we don't even need.
And then you reach in and like you reach in and you go to your elbow and it's like a fucking magician's hat and you're like pulling rabbits out of your pockets and you have all this stuff in your pockets. And I can't do that. So when I'm walking around and if I go into like when I go into a bar, I have to carry a whole ass purse with me, which means I have to grab it wherever I go and I have to take it with me. I can't just I have to give everything to Dubs when we go in somewhere for him to put in his pockets because I don't have any. And it's bullshit. So there's the pocket dilemma, you guys. Now
So
you
you
know.
do want.
I
So
guess
we
we
do
have,
need pockets, Chris.
I
Chris.
guess I have one kid that doesn't want pockets, but I guess the rest of them do. So one
All right.
child.
When she's grown and she has to carry 1,000 things with her, she will also want pockets.
All right, let's. By the way, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Please tell a friend. Please, do your due diligence so I can share the show. I can comment, make the little memes, or hit the likes, hit the shares, hit the loves, do all that
Oh
stuff.
God, you're such a boomer. It's so sad.
Fuck you.
At least he pronounced it correctly. At least he wasn't like make the little memes.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about this. I want to talk about the Johnny Depp case. I've been fascinated by this thing. It's been going on a couple weeks. They're supposed to go on a couple, 3-4 weeks more. I started jumping on when Johnny Depp was actually testifying. He's now done. Amber Heard is still to come. For those who don't know, they were married. She wrote, after they were divorced, she wrote an article talking about how she was the victim of domestic violence. Once that article came out, he was pretty much blackballed from Hollywood. And so he's suing her for $50 million. She's saying that he made life harder for her after the article came out. So she's suing him for $100 because she lost her career. He lost his career, they're both saying. And that's where we're at. And this whole thing is just so fascinating to me. I feel almost bad because we're like, there's private text messages and private recorded conversations. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like if someone were to take my conversations with Colleen when we're mad, oh my God, I couldn't even imagine.
So there's a point during the thing where they played a clip where of Amber telling him, tell the world, Johnny, that I, Johnny Depp, am a victim of domestic violence, and see if the jury, see how many people believe and side with you. And so this was her face when they played the clip. Like they played the clip and she's like, "Oh shit!" That's like, "Oh."
It's 100 million, Natasha. It's 100 million.
Yeah,
He said
not
$100. It's the Alzheimer's. Give him a break. It's just.
But look at her face. Look at her face when they played the clip. She's like, "Ooh, yeah, that's not good."
I'm not going to be able to stay for this whole conversation, so let me talk real quick about it and throw out my 2 cents in it. Because I want you guys to get into it. But a couple of things that I want to say real quick is that, firstly, this is one thing that some people seem to be forgetting. I'm not watching it. I have a couple friends that are watching it, and they kind of count on them to keep me up to date. But a couple things to remember is that this is a civil suit and not a criminal suit. So it's not exactly what some people are making it out to be. Nobody's going to jail over this. This is all about money. And I wanted to say that there are 4 components to a civil suit. So one of them is proving that the person did it, which that's easily provable because she's not denying that she wrote the article. The other is proving that there was damage, which he's proven that's easy to prove also because he was canceled. I don't remember that there's another part to it. And
malintent.
No, intent is in some states. It may be in this. But I think he has that nailed also as far as any reasonable person in this day and age can assume that would have caused damage to somebody. So I think he has that. Here's the part that I think he doesn't have and why I don't think that Johnny Depp's going to win this case at all. But I was talking to a friend of mine and she pointed out too, that doesn't mean that there's not good things that are going to come of this. So I don't think he is proving that it didn't happen. He's proving that she's a piece of shit. Yes. He's proving that she was abusive. Absolutely. But I don't think that he is proving that the things that she said in that article about him specifically are all lies. So I don't know that Johnny Depp is going to win this case, but here's why it's okay. Because I do think that she's such a piece of shit and he has so much support publicly that any person, any casting director, anybody in Hollywood right now that would be should be writing a script around Johnny Depp, because his comeback is going to be enormous, whether he wins this case or not. People are going to go to the movies. They're going to support everything he does just to show support for him. So I do think that this is going to benefit him. Will he win the 100 million that he's suing her for, or 50 million, whatever, 500, whatever it is? Probably not, but that's okay, because he is going to come out of this looking very good, I think, in the end. So that's all I really wanted to say was I wanted to have one foot in reality for people that are like, Johnny Depp is so perfect. I don't know that he is. None of us know that he is. We don't know that he didn't smack the shit out of her. And to be fair, I'd have smacked the shit out of her. So,
Go ahead.
I mean, let's be fair. If you shit in my bed, I'm fucking you up. Like, that's
I don't know.
That's on site. I'm gonna
with
walk in. The dog didn't do that, bitch. I'm beating your ass.
I agree with Gina.
Hold on, let Donnie
I agree
go.
with Gina on the first half. I totally agree with Gina on the first half. This is Johnny saying, let me give my side of the story. So win or not, it doesn't matter. He's giving his side.
Right.
He's taking the steps of getting his career back. Number two, I said this when we first talked about it. Someone poops in your bed. That's not a deal breaker. I feel like that means that they were a match made in heaven. And
hey, man,
they need to talk that out. Like, babe, you love me that much to shit in my bed? I mean, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me you love me that much? Like, you shit in my bed.
When you're in a conflict with somebody, I get that there are levels of escalation that occur. You know, you do this thing, then they do this thing, then you do this thing. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out the level at which shitting in your partner's bed is a level is love. There. That's even an option.
Donnie, that's
tell me who else.
Let's stop it.
I know.
Stop promoting toxicity.
I'm being sarcastic.
Saying, like,
we know, Donnie.
I don't know. I'm
being sarcastic, but I'm just saying.
Love me enough.
One at a time.
Right. Amber could say, like, Johnny, who else are you going to find that's going to shit in your bed? That's all I'm saying. No, I'm just joking. Gina, I'm joking for everybody out there. It's crazy.
Go ahead, Whip.
I got a quick question, though. As we stated, though, Johnny has already talked, and a lot of the fans, the public, are on his side when they heard these crazy stories.
Mm-hmm.
But what about when Amber talks, and then she starts telling her story? Do you think the people will waver and switch sides?
This is great, because here's the problem for me. I'll get to you, Dexter. The problem for me is if I watch a fucking 2-hour Dateline special on Friday night, the first fucking hour I think this motherfucker is guilty as fuck, and then the second hour I'm like, he's not guilty. She hasn't even put on her defense yet. So we don't know what they've got in their back pocket. This is all Johnny Depp's team leading this charge right now. So I don't know. And here's real quick. They're both crazy, but we know that couple. They're both fucking crazy. They're both guilty. If someone were to pull Colleen and mine's text messages, I'm fucking guilty of being an asshole. She's guilty of being a bitch. We're both guilty. If they recorded our conversations.
I've heard their conversations, you guys.
She must have not heard that, because I didn't see anything get thrown at her.
No, because she can't. She can't argue that she is guilty of it at times. She can't.
No, we both are. And here's the problem, which if you're not in a relationship or you don't know, for some reason, when you've been together a long time and you've been through some hard times, you go from 1 to 4.
He just
flinched. Right.
He's keeping his head on the swivel. He's like, when you've been in a relationship for a long time. I'm
gonna make a meme on it. I'm telling you, I'm making a little
Listen, when he takes Colleen to court, that's gonna be part of his defense right there.
And it's not my proudest moment, but I'll admit it. It's not her proudest moment, I don't think. But we'll go from 1 to fuck you in 3 seconds. Like, and I know how to push her buttons. She knows how to push my buttons. And when you're mad, you want to push the other person's buttons. And I think that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard do a lot of that. I think there are a lot of couples that do a lot of that. And I wouldn't want my shit out there. And that's why I feel kind of bad for. I think they both got issues. She's already said she's got childhood issues. He's had a ton of childhood trauma. And it's 2 broken people got together. And I don't think
that's not a problem.
I don't think she's 100%. I don't think he's 100%.
But see, that's not a problem, because, like you said, there are a lot of couples where 2 broken people get together. There are a lot of couples where you go from 0 to fuck you really fast, all that stuff. But the main difference is she tried to play victim. She tried to go out there. She tried to go out there,
Right.
make it public herself, and say that she
But she
was
may
the
be a
spokesperson
victim.
for she's
Right.
out there. I'm the spokesperson for domestic violence. This is what I went through. This is and everything. And even that was her mistake. If she kept it in the relationship, none of us would even know.
I think I see what you're saying, Tifa. Like no matter what her defense is at this point, she's already ruined her image by playing the victim and then finding out that she was actually part of the problem. So she's already discredited in the public eye. So she may come back and Johnny Depp maybe he did do some whatever, but no matter what she is discredited as a person, period, at this point.
Totally agree. Go ahead, Dexter. You've been wanting to jump in.
So point number one, we all know Hollywood couples are crazy. We got people beating each other up in elevators over things. We got people drinking blood with each other. Like, they're one of these crazy couples. And yes, the trial's finally happening now, but this has gone all the way back to 2015. Back when they were dating for a year and then get married. And then all of Johnny's friends, Angelina Jolie was like, don't marry this girl. This girl is trouble. Like, you don't want the smoke. And you're just like,
it on him.
Blah, blah, blah. So they go into this whirlwind romance. They get married, in my opinion, too soon. And then they're in this crazy Hollywood life where no prenup. And apparently the post-nup, she freaked out on him over that. Shocker.
Well, I mean, yeah, you come back to your lovely wife after being married for a while and you go, hey, can you sign this legally binding document that you don't get my money in case I divorce you?
Right. Since you avoided the whole prenup thing. But yeah, so they've had turmoil for years. So I'm with you guys. I think they're both in the wrong. But also just Amber to me is just very interesting because it seems very calculated the way things are playing out from her side. And then I was reading yesterday too, there's a scandal that apparently she and Elon Musk, who we talked about earlier,
he's supposed to testify. He's supposed to take the stand.
Yeah, apparently there's like a three-way fling when she and Johnny were still married.
James Franco also is supposed to testify.
Is there anyone James Franco hasn't done?
No. Well, and I'm just curious as to that part intrigues me about it, that I may end up watching it because they maybe could testify to her mental state, but if they've never seen him put his hands on her, I'm not sure what they're going to have to say. Like, Elon Musk got caught coming out of her apartment in the middle of the night by Johnny's best friend who lives next door. So there's really not a denying that the affair was happening, I don't think.
Right.
But I am really curious because I think Elon Musk is batshit crazy.
They all are.
Just to let you guys know, there's a TuneIn Radio app. It's called TuneIn Radio if you put on your phone. And there's a Crime TV is one of the or Crime and Justice TV or something is one of the apps. So like you can listen to it and still do other shit on your phone and still be working. Just throw in your wireless headphone, and that's how I've been doing. Just listen to the whole trial because I can still do.
Who has time?
You're
so jealous.
You're doing all your other stuff. You don't like. I'm working. I'm doing.
I gotta talk to people and stuff.
Oh, see, I don't. Yeah. Well, but even if I do, I've learned how to, learn how to just tune it out when I need to tune out and to have a conversation. But anyway, if you're that,
I gotta take off. You guys have a good day.
It is that good.
If your order at the Queso Kitchen gets messed up, it's because Andrew was listening to the trial.
It's true. That's true. It's true. But the other thing I was going to say is crazy people fuck good. And bottom line, that's why I'm terrible in bed, because I'm not crazy. Crazy people, though.
that's his thing. That's his Colleen.
I feel like that's like a T-shirt or a show or something.
It's true. She put it on him, and
sane in life, boring in bed.
Yes, that's
it. That's it. Somebody put that in the comments. I'm still.
I'm too normal. That's the problem. But when you have a crazy girl, she can make you do crazy things because she's so good at putting it on you, and that's kind of where we're at with that. What, Colleen? Why are you looking at me?
Run, Andrew, run.
Run.
We're ahead of the show, man. Get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, great job, you guys. Let's get into Tiefl's WTF News. WTF News. Go ahead, Tiefl.
All right. Well, we were talking about cereal earlier, and I was a little afraid we were going to step on this one. I figured I'd let you all know that Tropicana is coming out with their own cereal on there. After experimenting with different flavors and everything, they settled on an oat cereal. It's a honey almond cereal. It's made specifically to mix with Tropicana orange juice.
No,
What in the
no,
world?
blasphemy.
Cap.
What?
That's cap.
That's crazy.
The honey almond flavor was chosen to counteract the tartness of the orange juice.
Donnie,
What in the world?
you did use water for cereal once. Would you at least try it? You would try it.
Yes, I'm trying this. I tried Kool-Aid once too. It was really gross. It was red Kool-Aid. It was disgusting.
I wonder how it tastes with Sunny D.
This looks terrible, but we're gonna try it.
That used to be something back in the day that you did because you had to.
Right.
Like there was
Right.
no more
Right.
milk. You didn't like just the non-flavor of water. So you're like, let's try orange juice. This was not something that was done on purpose.
Right. But I mean, God bless these people that they're just like, you know what? They did this whole research thing, market research, testing stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's your job. Like you're trying to find what tastes good. I mean, just bless all the people that tried all the other stuff that tasted like shit. And this probably, it might not even be good. It might just be the least horrible of all the stuff they tried. We're going to market with this.
Like you said, Donnie, there's an orange juice testing kitchen because the goal is, okay, we need to make more money off orange juice. We want to get it out, do we get it outside of the breakfast? Do we try to make it an afternoon thing? Okay, mimosas. Yes, we'll make mimosas a thing so we can at least stretch it to noon. But afternoon, no one's drinking orange juice. Like, so you either got to expand that way or you have to drink more of it in the time that it's allowed. So you either need to expand past noon or you need to expand more. And this is where they've drink more orange juice in the morning by having orange juice in your cereal, which orange juice is terrible for you. I mean, there's so much sugar and stuff in it. So, I mean, drinking that much orange, like the reason they give you a little glass is because it's like so much sugar and shit in it. So I don't know if that's really a good thing, but all right, Natasha said when I was four, I was friends with a kid who put apple juice in his Cheerios because he was allergic to milk. She said she always wondered what it tastes like. Why did you ask him for a bite, Natasha?
That sounds pretty good though. Natasha, great idea.
Get some
Start
Apple
that
Jacks
comment.
with some
I was
apple
about to
juice.
say apple juice and Apple Jacks.
That sounds pretty good though.
Apple Jack.
Double apple.
I'm
Yeah,
going to Kroger as soon as this is over.
Keep it 2 doctors away.
My wife just gave me a note. She said, please, everyone, stop buying Special K banana because that's her favorite cereal. And every time she goes to the store, they're out. She has to buy it on Amazon when it's available. It's very hard. So if you guys stop buying Special K banana, she would appreciate it.
You gotta
Get hurt.
you pay for it. When you buy food on Amazon, you're paying for it. You pay the premium.
Right.
Like you guys ever seen they're back in the stores, but the Doritos spicy limon, like it's like a green bag.
Yes.
Like,
so
Ashley's
good.
hooked on those. It's finally back in the store, but there was like 6 months to a year where you just couldn't find them. I had to order them on
just
Amazon.
going through-
Paying,
There's a
She
shortage.
just going
$15
through
a
the
bag.
DTs.
But
Yeah.
here-
Was she going to she just shaking like I need my green
Yeah.
limon fix.
Yes.
well, here's the two things, Donnie. One of them is if someone bought them all off the shelf and you're buying them from them, yes, you're going to pay a premium. But I think there needs to be a point where are we past grocery stores? It's like maybe if the factory would just send them directly to us, because like the grocery store doubles the cost. So if a grocery store gets a bag of Doritos for $2.50, they're selling them for $5. So $2.50, even if they're mailing them to me for $5 straight from the factory, then
I'm not trying to undercut the grocery store. I still need that. I need that brick and mortar spot to
Do you?
go get whatever I need.
Middlemen
Yeah,
are
I need-
important.
like we're trying to save them all, save the grocery store
Right.
too. I mean, I need to
Andrew,
run
you
up there and grab some beer and
He just
some
tried to
milk and
fire
some-
a whole bunch of minimum wage workers.
Right.
I gotta
I
go
need
up
my
there.
off brands.
You literally just talked about
going.
going to the mall, man. Come on,
Minimum
bro.
wage my
You
ass.
just talked about it.
That's true. Two things that have changed my life because I have to go to the store. I go to the store at least twice a day, for the food truck. And I do a lot of Sam's Club now, which Colleen got me hip to. But she also got me hip to. She orders the stuff online for me, so I just pull up and they throw it in my car. I know it's old for a lot of people, but I just discovered this. Number one, or number two, I have an app on my phone. I scan the barcodes as I go, and then I just hit checkout on my phone, and I can walk right through the store and be done. Like I don't have to stop at a
Yeah.
checkout. I'm cashing out as I go. It's pretty cool. And they both have changed my life, but I know I'm late to the game. She had to actually put it on my phone and show me how to do it. Otherwise I wouldn't. Go ahead.
So we.
There you go. I was waiting for you to get him. You got to make a joke about that, man, about him being old. Come on, Tifo. Come on.
Right?
I think you just did, Whip. I think you just did. All right. Now, story 2. We're gonna hop across the pond to merry old London, England, where 49 Deborah Hodge, mother of 2. Now she's had an all right life, though she's faced eviction several times because of she's had unauthorized pets, and so she's had to give away her pets in order to avoid eviction. And in 2017, she was able to convince her current landlord at the time to let her get a cat. And that's whenever she got her cat India. And since India actually got hit by a car, lost a leg, so now India's a tripod. But India's a big part of their family. They love them. Well, her building now has a new landlord, and the landlord doesn't allow pets. So now she is facing eviction again for having an unauthorized pet. So she did the only logical thing that she could think of in this moment to be able to keep India with her and not get evicted, and she married the cat.
Jesus.
She held a civil ceremony earlier this month and hopes that this will show the landlord her connection with the cat and her conviction to keep the cat in her family.
Jesus. See that all it's going to do is all the people on the right are going to be like, see, they are marrying animals now.
Wait, what's that? What's that song? What's that song, guys? Like, marry that cat. Like, it was like, well, I think it was girl, but I guess that could be the wedding song.
I like the way you worked that. Nice job, Dex.
I'm trying to find the silver lining here. Cat's missing a leg,
there was. I think it was a song by Prince as well. Kitty Control.
Kitty Control.
I was going to say, I actually married a cat one time, but it was a whole other thing, man. We'll talk about that another thing. It was a crazy cat. I'm going to leave it at that. It was real good, though. It was real good.
Johnny Depp got it.
You understand?
Crazy cat.
Like, where is the ceremony? Who is the witness?
Right? Well, look, I'm an ordained minister. If you're paying me $250, I will marry you to anyone you want to get married to. I do not discriminate. All right, Tifo, with the cross on your face, go ahead. What's number 3?
All right, we're coming back over to Florida, so it must be good. Anaya Matoya Smith, 41 years old. Her son earlier this month apparently had a verbal altercation with the lunch lady because he didn't feel he was getting enough food with his school lunch.
Dude, I feel I used to have to buy doubles because there just wasn't enough food.
And so after this altercation, he of course went home and complained to his mother. And so his mother apparently decided that it would be a good idea to call the school up. Just give him a little ringy dingy, have a little heart to heart, talk to him about it. Yeah. Unfortunately, she got the answering machine because she had called after hours, and so she had an opportunity to leave a message. Hey, give me a call back. This is the issue that we're having. Things like that. Except her message ended up being, if you don't start feeding my children better, I'm going to come around and blow that motherfucker up.
Oh,
okay.
So that was her response. She got the answering machine. So I imagine at this point she was very frustrated. Maybe she meant to say something better, but it came out as, I'm going to blow this motherfucker up.
Oh, look, there are different ways to handle things. That's one of them. Probably better option.
She forgot to leave her name with the bomb threat. The school secretary heard the message. They ended up evacuating the school, doing a bomb search, the whole 9 yards. And then police decided to help her out because obviously she needs to have her complaints heard. And they looked at the phone records and they tracked it down to her. And now they're giving her a great platform to talk about her food needs for her kid in court, because she's facing charges for the bomb threat on a state building.
Yeah.
What was your
I'm a little torn right there, because I know back in my day there might have been a little argument I might have had, and you might have said, "I'll kill that mother," but you don't actually mean it, just in the midst of that. But But you're right.
Your kid's hungry. You're her mother. You're his mother. You're
Exactly.
getting upset. My mom.
Yeah.
So mom, they didn't give me my doubles today. I am starving. My mom would call a motherfucker up.
Because think about it.
My
Now,
doubles.
I got to buy him another Big Mac or something. If I would have had to, if you would have never fed him.
I only got one piece of pizza today. I was supposed to get my two, and they only gave me one.
Actually, no, that's right. Because too, especially like she was hot. Because once you hear that beep and you're still going off, knowing you are talking to yourself, like you're mad. That's anger. You're seeing red.
Angry. That is angry. All right, the last one, Tiefel.
Oh, the last one is my favorite one.
Okay.
Out of Washington, a California woman was visiting a national park, and the call of nature happened. So she went to one of the conveniently placed outhouses, porta-johns that they provide for the public. And she's there doing her due, and she drops her cell phone right into the stink.
Oh.
Now, most people would be like, that's gone. I have lost that cell phone.
This is the favorite story. Okay.
Even if I could get the cell phone back, I wouldn't want that cell phone.
No,
but not this.
They can have
this
it.
woman decided to use string and things like that put together to try to fish the phone out of the sewage. That wasn't working too well. She decided she had to get closer, so she goes down into it and trying to get it, and then eventually falls in.
It's it's different. Oh my God, it's different. It's different if you're in your bathroom, and because I'll admit I went pee last week. I went to pee, and my ear pod fell into the water. So I did go in there without thinking. I'm like, I gotta go get it. And I put my hand in there and pull it out, wash it a bunch of times. But that's just me. An outhouse, there could have been 100 stinky motherfuckers. Like
there's a lot of people in there.
So
you had to reach out and touch somebody.
She is now submerged in the sewage. But now that she's down there, she has her phone. So she was able to call emergency services. So great advertisement for whoever manufactures that phone. Think it'd be covered in sewage, it still works. She calls emergency services, and they come out, and they have to use special apparatuses to get her out of the tank, and then hose her down and treat her as a biohazard. Now, they encourage her to go to the hospital to get tested and everything like that, because you can get everything from MRSA to herpes in this. And,
MRSA herpes.
And so she was like, nah. She's like, nah, I'm good. And she just went home after getting a free shower from the state. And she just left. Now, no word on whether or not she's still using the poo phone.
I mean, she better still be using it after all that.
She better
Google
not leave her
Pixel.
house. Just stay home.
Shit proof for 3 feet up to 30 minutes.
That is crazy. And then, like, you don't even know. She may have found new diseases that are all up on her. Like, you don't even know when you're mixing poo.
Variants.
And her first thing was, so she's down there. She's reunited with her phone. Now, her first reaction wasn't, hey, I'm down in a sewage tank. Maybe I should call 911. No, she spent about 15 minutes trying to get out on her own.
When did this happen? Maybe that was how COVID started.
It was her.
It was her.
It was just 6 days ago.
Do you understand what type of text messages and pictures she had that she didn't want her significant other to see? I got to get this phone. Ain't no way in the world.
This is never leaving my mind.
I feel like submerged in sewage is one of those things that you need to disclose on a first date. Like that's like
over
you go
dinner,
out with her.
This is when
you go out with them.
Before we get frisky, I have spent 30 minutes in an outhouse covered in sewage, just to let you guys know.
Yeah, there's got to be like a Megan's Law thing that covers this.
Oh God.
Megan's Law. Oh my God! All right, that was pretty good, Tiefel. That's the WTF news with Tiefel. All right, you guys. We're out of here. Donnie P, thank you so much. We appreciate you as always. Thank you to Dexter. Dexter, how can we find you on the TikToks?
I am TikTok. I'm Dex Vidal 4.
Yes, Dex Vidal 4, not 2, you guys. All right, and then how can we find you, Whip?
Follow me, Whip Show Podcast. Check it out. I'm on there every week. Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Just follow me. Just look up Whip anything.
Podcast. Donnie P, where do we see you at every day?
Taylor Kia, 6300 West Central, Toledo, Ohio.
Where they're better than Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
They're better than Tesla.
EV6, baby.
Tifel, we've combined Tifel in his apartment. What's your address?
Andrew, we've known each other for a decade, and I still haven't given you my address.
I know.
Take the hint.
I know. What the hell? All right. And of course, I'll see you on the Queso Kitchen serving you a queso love. Thanks, you guys. You guys were awesome today. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
Come on!